Letter from C.R. Darwin to J.D. Hooker. 11 January 1844. Down, Bromley, Kent, Thursday. My dear Sir, I must write to thank you for your last letter. To tell you how much all of your views and facts interest me. I must be allowed to put my own interpretation on what you say of not being a good arranger of extended views, which is that you do not indulge in the loose speculations so easily started by every smatterer and wandering collector. I look at a strong tendency to generalize as an entire evil. What limit shall you take on the Patagonia side? As d'Orbigny has published, I believe he made a large collection at Rar Negro, where Patagonia retains its usual forlorn appearance. At Bahia Blanca and northward, the features of Patagonia insensibly blend into the savannas of La Plata. The botany of South Patagonia, and I collected every plant in flower at the season when there, would be worth comparison to the North Patagonia collection by d'Orbigny. I do not know anything about the king's plants, but his birds were so inaccurately habitated that I have seen specimen from Brazil, Tierra del, and the Cape de Verde Island, all said to come from the Strait of Magellan. What you say of Mr. Brown is humiliating. I had suspected it, but could not allow myself to believe in such heresy. Fitzroy gave him a rap in his preface, and made me very indignant. But it seems a much harder one would not have been wasted. My cryptogrammic collection was sent to Berkeley. It was not large. I do not believe he has yet published an account, but he wrote to me some year ago that he had described and mislaid all his descriptions. Would it not be well for you to put yourself in communication with him, as otherwise some things will perhaps be twice labored over? My best, though poor collection of cryptogram, was from the Chonos Islands. Would you kindly observe one little fact for me, whether any species of plant, peculiar to any island, as Galapagos, St. Helena, or New Zealand, where there are no large quadrupeds, have hooked seeds? Such hooks as, if observed here, would be thought, with justness, to be adapted to catch into wool of animals. Would you further oblige me sometime by informing me, though I forget this will certainly appear in your Antarctic flora, whether in islands like St. Helena, Galapagos, and New Zealand, the number of families and genera are large compared with the number of species as happens in the coral islands, as I believe in the extreme Arctic land. Certainly, this is the case with marine shells in the extreme Arctic seas. Do you suppose the fewness of species in proportion to the number of large groups and coral islets is owing to the chance of seeds from all orders getting drifted out to such new spots, as I have supposed? Do you collect seashells in Kerguelen land? I should like to know their character. Your interesting letters tempt me to be very unreasonable in asking you questions, but you must not give yourself any trouble about them, for I know how fully and worthily you are employed. Besides a general interest about the southern lands, I have been now, ever since my return, engaged in a very presumptuous work, and which I know no one individual who would not say a very foolish one. I was so struck with the distribution of Galapagos organisms, etc., with the character of the American fossil mammifers, etc., that I determined to collect blindly every sort of fact which could bear any way on what are species. I have read heaps of agricultural and horticultural books, and have never ceased collecting facts. At last gleams of light have come, and I am almost convinced, quite contrary to the opinion I started with, that species are not, it is like confessing a murder, immutable. Heaven forfend me from Lamarck nonsense of a tendency to progression, adaptations from the slow willing of animals, etc., but the conclusions I am led to are not widely different from his, though the means of change are wholly so. I think I have found out, here's presumption, the simple way by which species become exquisitely adapted to various ends. You will now groan, and think yourself, on what man have I been wasting my time in writing to? I should 5 years ago have thought so. I fear you will also groan at the length of this letter. Excuse me, I did not begin with malice prepense. Believe me, my dear sir, very truly yours, C. Darwin.